And then I thought that we did, as much as there was, 3 weeks ago, there was a non-binding vote on our grade centers versus option 4. But then at the last board meeting, we voted about grade centers for next year, and the answer was no. The vote was no. It was 3-3, so that's a no, correct?
It was 3-3.
So that's a no.
It did not pass.
So that was a no, okay. So my question is, what has changed from then till now that we're discussing this again? I mean, is there more information that's being brought forward about, because I think that was, at least for myself, I will not speak for anybody else, the reason that I voted no was because there wasn't any plan, there wasn't anything concrete being presented yet. We were being asked to vote on something. So I that's where my question comes in, is why, if nothing has changed in those 2 weeks.
So when we had that straw poll, we agreed.
That was 3 weeks ago,
Right?
yes.
So we agreed to, if the referendum did not pass, we do consider it number 5, right?
But then we voted, correct. Correct.
So that's correct, right? And so we had on the agenda to go to grade centers, and that did not pass with the 3-3 vote on
Okay.
there. If there was, at least I was confused, or all of us maybe was confused in the sense of what really happens if it does not pass. Because I believe it was you and also Cindy, what year was the question, correct? And so that's where, and I think that's where the confusion is. I just want to make sure that we all have a good understanding, if the referendum does not pass, what is the consequence that we're all doing?
Okay.
So whatever that means. So if that means that we do scenario 4, it needs to be crystal clear. And, you know, we're having the meeting in the public, because we only discuss this in the public, is that if it doesn't pass, what does this board want to do? Are we going to go with scenario number 4, which means cut all the programs, or at least music and art and some of the other things that are on here? Or let's talk about it, just to make sure that we're all clear. It's a very big decision, and you know, perhaps I didn't put it well enough on the agenda, but that's, you know, the agenda was the agenda item the way it was written. So that's where I just want to make sure that this board realizes what we do, and I want the public to make sure that we're clear to them on what, if the referendum does not pass, what's going to happen. This way there's no confusion out there. I'd rather us be inconvenienced by having to meet a couple more times, but I want to make sure that it's very clear out there, because there is a lot of confusion. There really is. You know, I mean, I've talked to board members that have been in every meeting that say, I don't understand what's going to happen.
I believe it needs to be a vote, not a straw poll. I mean,
We're going to have that discussion, right? So let's. That's why we need to have the discussion. Once we know how to word the question on the agenda, because we'll agree to that if we have that discussion today, how it needs to be worded. This way we can put it exactly on there, so there's no more confusion going forward. So maybe it's obvious that we haven't communicated well. I'll take the responsibility of that maybe I haven't communicated well. But let's fix that. Let's make sure that we talk about it. Let's make sure that everyone's clear out there, to make sure that everyone understands what's at stake here. This way, there's no confusion. But I'm sure it'll be clear as mud after we're all done. So, did that answer your question?
the point I wanted to make earlier was Dr. Schilling, at one of the ad hoc deficit reduction committee meetings, a member of that committee asked you, was there something else that we could do than cut the programs? And you said, yes, we could look at grade centers. And then you were directed from that point to put together the numbers to show us what savings would be for the grade center model, correct?
Correct.
So that became then an option, and that's where I think the whole grade center option discussion came to light. And when you see the numbers and it's actually in the positive, and we're saving money and we're saving programs, why wouldn't we move in that direction now or next year? What if we don't move to grade centers next year? Are we essentially losing money?
With or without the referendum?
Either way. I mean, are we giving up money by not going to grade centers if the referendum passes?
Yes.
No, but we're not having a plan to grade centers and fidelity.
But I think then the other issue that, but I think the other issue that came up too, Cindy, hold on, is people in the community who are supporting or are at least willing to hear about grade centers were concerned because they felt like that option just got nixed and got off the table. And I myself, as a board member, leaving the last board meeting confused because I didn't understand where we were at, and that's why we've been meeting the last 2 times. But I think we owe the community that clarification and to communicate to them that we will be fiscally responsible with the referendum passing and going to grade centers. We will be putting money in our reserves, therefore building that reserves and using the taxpayers' dollars to do life and safety work for the buildings that need to be done, or whatever other projects that come up that are of urgency. So
I mean, not to, because let's just think clear. So the topic on the floor now is that if the referendum is not successful, what does this board want to do? I guess that's where the big question comes in. And so we know that if it does pass, we have a little bit of time, but that's let's put that aside. If it's not successful, what is this board going to do? We have 5 scenarios. I think we've narrowed it down to scenario number 4 and number 5 out there. Let's have that discussion. Whoever wants to go first, go first. I don't want to be accused of putting anyone on the spot.
Sir, but I think
I'm sorry. I do want to hear you, but we'll have it at the during the end.
I know.
So thank you. I'm sorry.
My opinion's not gonna change if it's passes or it doesn't pass.
We can't hear you.
My opinion is not gonna change if it passes or it doesn't pass. If there's no plan, to me, it's not a good idea to just go ahead and move to do that. So either way, I'm not for grade centers
But
without a plan.
they are rather making a plan now for grade centers, am I correct? For both scenarios, 4 and 5. In the process of making it.
But we have STR,
Yes.
and Dr. O'Malley even said before, to have it done with fidelity, STR said ideally it's with 2 semesters. And why are we?
It's in a perfect world. In a sense, though, too, it could be argued. I'm not trying to.
I think we should just put it on the agenda, and it passes, and pray to God it works, whatever passes.
But that's what we get.
It is what it is.
That's what we got criticized before, obviously, for not having a plan B, and that's what we're,
Well, we had a plan B, but we ended up with the plan C, which is fine. But we're gonna be criticized no matter what, so it doesn't matter. I mean, we gotta come up with a plan, and then from that point on, everybody works together to make it work. So, if it ends up being grade centers, I'm all for it then, and if that's what the majority is, then straight ahead, let's all move forward with the plan. But I just say, my personal opinion, I don't like it without a to Z plan, everything up front, knowing what's gonna happen, and having it all laid out. I don't think it's the responsible thing to do.
we'll just go, she started, we'll just go back this way just to put pressure on myself here so I don't call anyone out. I feel that, looking at going back to what do we want our student to experience, and in my opinion, is that the only thing to preserve a child's experience is to go to grade centers, to save music, art, and and even the chance of saving sports and curriculum work and clubs. And so for me, I think the scenario 5, if it does not pass, I would support the scenario 5 option, which is grade centers.
My decision, I attended pretty much all the ad hoc deficit reduction committee meetings as a public participant, and I heard all of the different options being discussed. And when a member of that team asked Dr. Schilling was there another option, and he said, yes, we could move to grade centers to preserve as much as we can for the student and save money and be fiscally responsible, to me that's where I couldn't argue that, and to me that makes the most sense, and going to great centers is the way I would move to.
I guess it falls to me now, but I personally I don't like the grade centers, but everybody's talking about being fiscally responsible for what their actions and what they're doing, and if it doesn't pass, that means the community is not gonna do anything, and we have to act. And we have to go to grade centers in order to preserve the programs for the kids. With that, I wish they would just, you know, if we had the option to just get the money and then stay where we're at, that'd be nice, but it's not happening. Which is,
I have to echo what Mike says. I mean, it's not happening the way that, in the perfect world, we'd have enough money to do whatever we want, but we're not in the perfect world. And, you know, consolidation in this is difficult. It's hard to make change. I think, you know, we voted 3-3, it didn't pass. It doesn't mean that we voted it no. That means that we did not pass the motion. So it's important to understand that, because the last thing we want you to think is that we're flip-flopping. It's not a flip-flop. We just didn't vote to pass it forward. And one of the reasons for that is that we didn't have enough information. So if we had enough time, if we have way much more time than we have now, we can spend more time to wait and do the full analysis and take as much time as we need so that everybody's comfortable. We don't have that time. So we have to entrust and direct the superintendent to get the information. If he gets that information and it in my opinion, if it looks good and it's a good plan, say good enough so that we can make that transition, then we may have to make the hard decision, because we're entrusted to lead. And that's what our job is. So it's a hard decision. Nobody wants to cut teachers. I don't. But we don't have those resources. So, you know, looking at the programs, looking at what's important for the children, all around, the whole child, all these concepts, we may have to buckle down and make that hard decision. But I do not support doing it without a plan, which is why I voted no. And then wanted more information. So if that information comes back, then I support number 5. Like any project.
So let's just clarify that. If the referendum does not successful, which option do you support? Let's go.
Would you support?
Or would you support?
I'd support number 5 either way. I mean, I think that it makes more sense. Even with the referendum passing, you still have to cut you still have to cut. And looking at the simple numbers, if we cut the first year, not haphazardly, but if we cut in the first year, we're gonna save money that first year, and we're gonna save the turmoil of another year of this. See, the kids and the administration and everybody here is sitting here going through all of this all the time. They don't have time to focus on what's really important. That's the kids and the programs and the teachers and everything else. So we have to make the hard decision, and we need to make it quick, but not without a plan. Put it that way.
so we gave them the authorization to look at it.
Right. So the last meeting we came here and we said, please go and make a plan. It's going to cost some money, because there's things that we can't do in the administration to get that information. It's going to cost a little bit of money, but it was worth it. We voted yes. So that's what we're going to do.